Welcome to another day of 19 Days of Health in Yourself. Let's talk supplements today. With my change in diet for it being more nutrient dense, I'm needing less and less peripheral support, but I do use things from time to time, and especially in relation to sleep, I like to support getting a good night's rest. There's nothing more replenishing, and so I will take magnesium most nights, and it is something that most folks are deficient in because our soils are deficient in it. And I like the citrate form because it helps things move smoothly in the morning. And then I've also touched on a little bit how I like to use topical products, and it's just another route that bypasses the digestion, so kind of gives you different and enhanced bioavailability. And I also think it's great to hit things in as many different ways as possible, and just kind of gives you a good, well-rounded approach. And if there's any tolerance that you build up with anything, it will can kind of help prevent that. So I also have this magnesium oil, and it's like an Epsom salt bath in a spray bottle. And I'll even put it in my scalp. So at night I may do both of them. I may alternate them, but it's like a strong ocean water. So I wouldn't or be careful putting it on your face. And then, as far as cannabinoids go, there are hemp-derived CBD products that are more sedative than other ones, and it's just due to different processing and it can be different terpenes that they add in. And then you could also play around with the flower and putting it in like a cracker or something, and because when you eat it, it's not going to be as bioavailable as other routes, but it stays in the system a lot longer. So all of these things are not they're not like an Ambien. They are instead addressing maybe some deficiencies that we're having. Like the hemp-derived CBD will help even things with like anxiety and pain, which is more conducive to a more restful night. Then there's also melatonin. Now I'm not a big fan of taking melatonin orally. I think what's available, I think the dose is too high, and also to take it on a regular basis I don't think is very appropriate. But I do have this topical by LifeFlow, and I like a lot of their products, melatonin, and I keep it by my bedside and will use it if I wake up during the night and I can't fall back asleep. And I also don't use a full pump full. It's a metered dose with the pump. I'll just use what I kind of consider a smear, and it can be helpful. And certainly I'll take it when I travel. Also, I talked to you about bioidentical hormone replacement and how I'm using that to really good effect, and it's topical. But there's also something over the counter that is supportive of sex hormone production, and that is precursors to our hormones, and that is DHEA, and then the precursor to DHEA is pregnenolone. And these can be used to support hormone levels, but you got to be careful because they are hormones. So you kind of want to know out of the gate what your levels are, and maybe even because this can be a much more affordable and maybe people consider it more of a subtle option. So maybe talk to your practitioner, get your levels checked, and ask, can you work with me on using these? And you might want to do one or the other, or maybe alternate them. And again, I'm always a big fan of getting by with as little as possible. So it may only take a smear and not a full meter dose. And then just so kind of the chain is, we've got our estrogen, testosterone, and then the precursor to that would be your DHEA, and the precursor to that would be your pregnenolone, and then the precursor to that is cholesterol. And then another hormone that's very important, and a lot of people can be low in, is vitamin D. And I have seen some studies recently, or a study that is saying that taking it orally is not really impacting the levels like you think it would. So, and then I've seen a study that's saying that if you use it topically, it does enhance your levels, and that only makes sense. I mean, the way we absorb vitamin D, or the ideal way, is through the sun, but in modern life we're not out in the sun enough. So I use this vitamin D cream, and I just use a little kind of pea size, and it's actually quite lovely. Alrighty, I'm gonna go over some more in the next installment. Y'all take it easy, and see you then.